So welcome in. We've got our third round of 12 set. The winner here is going to be up against Sebastian in the next rounds. We've got Mihai in the yellow. Mihai playing as the Malians. We've got Barles playing as the Spanish. Typically, I change the colors, but yellow is one I'm comfortable with and we're used to with Viper. I'm kind of okay with keeping Barles at color 6 for this set. What do you think about that, Ornlu? Is that an issue for you?
Not at all. I mean, I'm usually somebody who just keeps whatever the colors they pick are. So
all right, cool,
yellow and purple is perfectly fine for me.
Yeah, I think it's the one color combo which shouldn't give people too many problems. Barles likes this color. Mihai likes this color. But yeah, we've got Coast Arena. So stone walls along the front, some water walls on the backside, and then you've got the water aspect. And a lot of maps that incorporate land and water, we typically see that balance. That balance of water and land, and Malians should be very good there with their building discount. But the Spanish, while they do have bonuses which are balanced, they're usually about their extremes. So they're monks or they're conquistadors. So that's the number one thing I'd be thinking of right now if I'm Barles, is how do I get to conquistadors?
It's funny. I think that's a great way of putting it, because in so many ways, Spanish are a very versatile, very sort of middle-of-the-road balance civ, but that's not why you pick any AoE civ, except like Byzantines. It's you pick them because they're very good at doing something specific, and in this case, it is, of course, going to be monks/missionaries, and then the conquistadors, both of which obviously castle-age units, and we have to imagine that Mihai, with Malian's really strong aggressive civ, he's going to be the one who is throwing out the first punch here.
Yeah, so back week 1 of group stage, Mihai, he went for Italians. He went for a dock, added a couple fishing ships, but he went transport ship, and he went man-at-armed archers along the backside of the opponent's base. I forget what the opponent's civ was, but basically the opponent was trying to get to a castle, and instead of tower rushing through the middle, which there's already stone walls, he transported around. I feel like that's very transparently what he's going to do here, because otherwise I really don't like the Malians. I'm not sure what you think, but they don't get bracer, which is usually great. Their unique unit doesn't feel great, at least against the Spanish. So that's my read right now, but I obviously have no clue.
Yeah, I mean, Malians themselves are also super flexible, but in a very different way than Spanish. They have 2 front-loaded eco bonuses, better gold miners, and cheaper buildings, so you can really do any number of strategies with the civ, but it's that early Imperial Age transition where Spanish are typically very good, because you're usually going for a lot of monks or conquistadors, which you don't need to make that many of. But with Malians, if you're not like getting a big win early, you got a huge eco, right? You wanted to spam a bunch of like champions or cavalry units and that sort of thing. So it's really a super aggressive or high eco civ.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, and I'm wondering what the homework is like, because realistically, you should probably watch your opponent's games, but do you go back and do you watch the first week? It's also kind of a pain because you have to backdate your patch. We had a patch midway through, and I can sometimes be really critical. I'll watch players and be like, how do you not know this is the thing? But then I have to check myself. This has literally been my life, like every single day for months, and for the players, they just have to do one play all 3 a week. So yes, there's a certain expectation that they know things, but we'll know if Barles knows if he goes for the little wall behind. There's 2 houses there. Tells me he's already thinking about it. And basically, in the games that I've seen, when people know this is coming, they wall the back of their base. They still take the gold in the front, instead of walling the front of your base and then taking the gold on the oysters, which is an option next to the docks.
Yeah, the housing placement from Barles, I think, really tells a lot that, okay, you see Malians, you know there's something aggressive happening. I mean, basically, ever since Malians were added to the game, whenever you see them on a hybrid map or a water map, you're like, okay, there's some sort of shenaniganry happening, and they're probably going to be doing something forward and aggressive. And it's not clear exactly what that aggressive thing is, and that's where the flexibility of Malians comes in.
Yeah.
But you know there has to be something.
But then there's the double mind game of it, right? It's like, if you pick the Malians, you must be doing X, Y, and Z, and then you expect your opponent's probably prepared and probably watched what you did, so then they expect it. And then it's like, because they expect something, can you do something else? And I say that because it seems like Mihai is not going for a transport ship, and instead he's going for a lot more fishing ships. He's going up to 6. He's about to drop dock number 2. I think he's about to click up to Feudal Age, and if he just gets the food, he does. So, yeah, mind games at play, and that's why we like these closed maps, because there's a little bit of guessing, and you can't always be informed on what the opponent's going to do.
And there's usually at least a decent amount of strategic diversity. You typically don't see players do the exact same thing into each other. That said, Barles flicks up just a little bit later with one more villager. And, I mean, 29 population on this map in particular, I still think you can afford to go for a fast castle. You've got the mill coming in. Mihai, is it going to be for a fast castle, though? Okay, no, now he's building a mill.
So, I saw a build. I think you covered it as well. It was Gold League early. It was Dogao against, like... I think it was Dogao against Uzi. And it was on this map. Now, he was Malay. And he went a couple boats with the fast feudal. And then he expected a forward castle from his opponent. And he went for, like, 3 archers in the middle. Just to deny the forward castle. Yeah, I think
that was cool.
I think that might be what Mihai is opting for here. We don't know yet, but it would make a lot of sense to try and basically do damage wherever you can. You're never going to win if you go full water. You're never going to win if you go full land, so it's a mix of both.
And if you are comfortable playing a bit of a more passive game, especially, I guess as Malians here, because you think your eco is better, but this later uptime, but still making Navy, is usually one of the safest ways you can go about playing a map that is as difficult to play as something like Coast Arena, right? You get the military out to defend if you need it. They can apply pressure if your opponent isn't doing anything more aggressive than you, but you're also going to have something here on the land, and Mihai is going to be sending a bunch of vills over to Stone.
Yeah, I completely misread it. I thought he was going to make galleys or hulks or something, delay the market in the blacksmith. But yeah, he goes market blacksmith. He goes to stone. Now, the stone position is fixed on the front, as is the gold. There was a little scout scuffle earlier where Barles has that extra hit. And Barles will see a villager there. Yeah, Barles paying attention, and Mihai just wanted that additional hit. But now Barles is like, wait, why do you have a villager there? And the scouts are so important here, and Mihai loses his scout. Mihai loses his scout, which is now so uncomfortable.
I mean, if you were thinking about going forward, that is basically out the window right now. Barles easily sees, I think, he sees the Bills.
Yeah, he sees it. He sees it, yeah.
But I have to ask you now, do you regularly call it a scout scuffle? Because I call it that all the time. And I was wondering is there another weird soul out there who says that?
To be honest, I have no clue, but I tend to be a little bit of a caster chameleon at times, where I will sometimes adapt based on my caster who's with me. So
that's fair.
So like with Dave, I'll occasionally let out an A. That seems pretty good A. With Dave, or I'll say sorry a bunch of extra times when I'm casting with Dave because he's Canadian. In your case, it's like I must pronounce everything as perfect as possible, or else, or scuffle, or I break down the history. I'm like, well, historically, the Malians and the Spanish, they engaged in 1231, and, I do that. But unfortunately, I don't think the Malians and the Spanish had a great deal of conflict at that time, but you'd have to tell me.
Well, the Malian Empire was just sort of beginning during that time, and the Spanish were still trying to fight the Reconquista. So, unfortunately, the Spanish-West African connection would have to wait until the 1500s.
See, that's what I thought. I was thinking, like, late 1400s, but it's actually the 1500s. Damn, I had it so close. Castle v. Castle.
1492 was when Spain collected itself.
I mean, I can't believe what I'm seeing. I respect the energy from Mihai, but castle dropping the Spanish was not on my list of strategies at all. But he's doing it, and the castles are both going to go up. They're going to range each other. Now, what this castle does do for Mihai is it does deny the stone for Barles, but it doesn't deny the gold, and they both, for now, have a little bit of fishing eco. So I say for now because Mihai has gone with some hulks. So far, so good for Barles, though he garrisons his ships. But, I mean, Conquistadors cost food. Gebetto costs food. They're both range units that could be very strong here.
Yeah, both are excellent raiding units. Gebettos, I always think are even slightly underrated just for... I feel like they're still so good. That said, conqs are the king of early Castle Age for a reason. And right now, it's if you can match the opponent's numbers pound for pound, which both players can do because their entire economies are sort of pointed in this direction, that I think it's going to be tough for the Malians.
Ooh! You said the the Conquistadors are king of early Castle Age? The Monk disagrees. That was a 50-50 there. Barles really wanted that kill, and he doesn't get it. He loses the conq, and then he loses the other conq as well. That is a swing that only the Monks can provide at this time. And Mihai is sniping the fish at the same time. So not bad.
Oh, man, this is getting pretty scary. And the missionary also gets sniped by the converted conquistador. Oh, my goodness. This is getting very awkward very quickly here for Barles. Basically, everything went wrong there for a second or so. But now the converted traitorous conquistador will meet its demise. And Barles is right back out on the map here.
I would just go full monks now if I'm Mihai. Like, Gebettos are nice, but I would... And I say I would. I actually wouldn't because I suck with monks. But I really feel like this is still going to trend the Conquistador's way. And that you might need to have more monks prepared. But for now, 2 relics, just 1 monastery for him. And he's going to try and use this combo of Gebetto and monks.
Yeah, and if you think of, many other sorts of closed maps, whether it be Arena, Fortress, even BF, where, okay, you both go for a castle drop, and you think that, okay, it's going to be a battle of the unique units, but generally speaking, monks are good against unique units, so it often becomes a matter of, okay, who actually monks harder?
Yeah.
And at this point, it looks like, I guess that's going to be Mihai, who's still queuing up more.
I've been really impressed. The micro with the Gebetto is nice considering the disadvantages they have, but now you see you focus on anything else, the conchs just start to shred you. That's why you pick the Spanish. Those kills were not bad. But I like it from Mihai because he's kind of like boxing the conquistadors away from getting to the middle now. He's separating these conquistadors from the areas they really want to get to. He's going to build 3 town centers here? Mihai? That's crazy.
I mean, it is crazy, don't get me wrong, but, I mean, kind of like I said in the beginning, it feels like Malians are the Civ that want to play that more high eco style.
Yeah.
Just spam a ton of different units, you have all the eco bonuses to help you out there, so, I mean, I guess that's what he's going to be doing, but you have to be really careful because the Conquistador numbers, despite your early success, are still fundamentally going to be climbing.
Oh, Barles just noticed that those Gebetto could have run into his eco. He is attacking the monastery. That is the weak point of the wall now. The monastery. And Barles, he did a nice job stabilizing. The thing about Barles that you don't see here, really nice farming transition. Also has a transport around the outside with conquistadors, which will take a long time to pay off. But if he gets through, I don't think Mihai's going to be prepared for that at all.
Hey man, in the late 1400s, early 1500s, it took the Spanish conquistadors a long time to cross the ocean, but it worked out pretty well for Spain.
Bro, Mihai has 2 stuck hawks behind oysters. The oysters are going to go down in a second. If those are put on patrol, they can find that transport.
Can't you just sail over the oysters, or am I insane?
I don't know. I'm assuming they're stuck, but isn't it crazy that he actually has the tools to kill the transport, and he just isn't noticing? I don't know. Like, did he forget about them? It feels like he did. Does he have a reason to look back there? Not really. Okay, they're just sitting there still. And here comes the transport. And then there's still the conchs on the front.
I mean, this is still going to be super scary to deal with. Unlike Barles, Mihai didn't really wall the back of his base whatsoever. And to be fair, you're not really anticipating Spanish to do anything aggressive in feudal age like that. But it's just 2 conquistadors coming in at a very atypical time, but oh, well, hold on. Conchs are doing a ton of damage here at the front. Oh my goodness.
Yeah, the conchs are underneath the castle, which you might regret because the Gebetto can then get close. Conversions happen. The conchs are still sitting there in the transport ship. There's so much micro happening right now. The eco is better for Mihai, ever so slightly, but now the conquistadors make it, and the hawks were too late, and now Mihai's got conquistadors from another angle. What a nightmare.
This is where the power of Tigui comes in, T90. Just get that tech. You're already trying to expand your eco and just have the TCs fire a bunch of arrows for free.
Maybe. Maybe.
Low key, that would help you defend a ton.
Well, it doesn't add range, though, right? And I think
no, that's the Lithuanian tech.
resources are kind of at the limit, so I'm not entirely sure on that. Monks will come home to deal with those conchs. Now, these conchs can't really realistically get away now unless their transport comes back. And then we have conqs underneath the castle again from Barles.
Beautiful
Barles
position there from Barles.
Barles has killed all the forward vills. And you can tell Mihai was looking at the conquistadors, which he's converted one. Crazy game.
Oh, man, but the monks are there trying to pursue as best they can. Barles going to try and run around the edge of the middle clearing. Devotion's going to be a huge upgrade, and that is a petard. What do you think of going for the petards right now, T90, as opposed to, like, when the castle immediately finished?
Well, before he felt like he needed Gibettos, but now I think he's realized I just need monks. Monks is my core military, and I have Gibettos. So I actually really like it. And Barles isn't going to want to stop making conquistadors at any point. But Barles is already on rams. The weird interaction,
like rams,
the weird interaction is that the Gibetto can actually destroy rams, and petards are actually pretty good at that as well if you happen to be queuing them up. And so down goes one ram, and Mihai out the back of the castle, and down goes another ram.
Yeah, there are times to go for rams in the castle war. When your opponent has a ranged melee unique unit, yeah, that's not the time, because remember, guys, Gibettos, they deal melee damage like an infantry, and so you just kill those rams super fast. That said, the castle is still much lower in HP, to be fair.
It's all about the monks right now. If the monks get conversions, Barles is dead. Barles did get devotion, so he could resist the conversions. Sometimes people would go for their own monks in this position and try and get atonement. But great job from Mihai. I mean, he's just brought the pressure to Barles here in a way that I don't think he was expecting. He's been able to get 3 relics, but still, he has to be so careful because his castle could end up going down. And his town center, 80%.
Oh.
It'll be denied.
Beautiful splitting up of the conquistador damage right there. I mean, conqs have a pretty long reload time, so he was just splitting the shots up as much as possible. That was so perfectly done by Barles.
Also, the castle fire will eventually be enough to just take the castle down now as well if you're Barles. So a fletching upgrade ended up being really valuable for him. Still, Mihai will be on 3 TCs in a moment. He'll be primarily on monks, though, because he won't be able to make any more Gibetto after the castle falls. And there go the monks again. Barles is back.
Oh.
Devotion. Oh, my goodness, dude.
Remember when they added devotion because people thought monks were too OP?
The complaints from people who are anti-devotion were because of the conquistador. They were like, at least don't give Spanish devotion, because if conquistadors can't be converted, what are you supposed to do against this unit?
It is a tough one. There is another castle coming in for Mihai, which is going to be quite helpful. Still maintains control of the middle of the map. Conq numbers are not super impressive, but it is just a tough unit to micro against. And right there, still gets a couple more Gibettos. What I think is so cool about this game, T90, is that neither player is going for fast imp.
Yeah, neither player is going fast imp. Both players stuck in Castle Age, which we really have never seen. I feel like, well, this is a map where you have to take some risks. And after the first castle from Mihai, I would have loved to see this castle be in range of that gold. But maybe after losing all of his monks, he just didn't feel like he could justify it. That castle's like, it kind of protects your eco, and then it kind of disrupts the gold, but it doesn't do either one directly.
I think the main concern for Mihai was actually his own gold income, because other than the gold that's in his base right now that he's strip mining like crazy, he doesn't have any safe access to gold. So I think that if you don't have gold right now as Malians, you are completely dead in the water. So at least I also would have liked the castle a little bit more forward, but I at least understand why he did that.
Okay, well, I want a forward castle. Barles knows what's up. Here he comes. Barles wants to apply some pressure. Honestly, there's still a lot of Gibetto, and there's still some monks that can come in. And Gibetto will kill the conqs if they connect. Conqs have the range, and Spanish have the building speed bonus, so this castle could go up. Mihai doesn't seem to be making a move right away to deny this. He's waiting for his monks. This is some nice patience. He's going for the vills, and he's got the conversions coming in, too.
This is so beautifully done from both players. Villagers being pulled at the exact right time. Monks being able to come in at the right time. That is just so beautifully done, T90. Oh, my goodness.
It's so hard to be patient there, right? You're under pressure. It's game one. The nerves, the moment is so important. And it's conquistadors, which we've already seen wreck you. To have the confidence to just kind of dodge back and forth and wait is insane. And now, like, pretty soon, it will be Barles without gold. If he completes that castle, he can take all the gold in the middle. But his main golds could be an issue soon if the Gibetto run in. And he doesn't have the relics that Mihai has.
Wow, this is so close of a game, number one. Very back and forth, and very unlike the previous series, which is always fun as a caster, just getting these very different experiences with the different pro players and maps. But right now, Barles is going to need to figure out something, because this is where you really wish you actually had that Imperial Age option.
I'm just shocked. I mean, I know the KD doesn't really imply that the Gebeto are very strong, but the Gebetos seem good enough in these engagements when combined with a couple monks that I really like the unit here now. And Mihai clearly trusted it from the start.
I've been saying that this is like one of the most underrated units in the game. It's so freaking strong. They got like a buff here and there for like 3 years in a row, and now the unit is just so crazy good. It literally does night damage from range, but this is still the Conquistadors, and you should not underestimate them.
Oh, man. I mean, but the Gebeto are close here, so I think they trade kills evenly from here. No, I'm wrong.
Are much cheaper than Conquistadors, remember, guys.
Yeah, the conqs are destroying. I was wrong. The monks and the missionaries have gone down. Barles comes back to build the castle. Again, Mihai sees it. But there's still a lot of conqs, and there are a lot of villagers there. And I think the castle actually goes up now.
Wow. I mean, that takes some confidence from Barles this time, where you're like, you know what? We're just going to send everything forward, and this time the castle's going to go up. He didn't panic. He didn't try to send the whole village over and, turn it into a doubt castle. Yeah, he lost some vills, but he is still doing just fine.
I'm laughing because I don't know where this game goes from here. Right? Like, everything happens, and I'm expecting there to be an obvious result, but I really just don't know. Like, Barles is making rams, so maybe he makes a play against the castle, but I have no clue if that will even work. Barles just reclaims gold, but now there's a castle from Mihai, which is going to push him off of that gold and over to another one. Imp is not even close to realistic for either player. I still like Mihai's Vill counts, but, I mean, Mihai's Vills are far from efficient if you look at the middle of the map right now, so what a game.
They're far from efficient, and he's losing far more resources than Barles is. So the good eco is keeping him in the game, and that obviously we have no idea where this one's going to go. But I don't think that we can say that Mihai has a huge lead if we just look at the populations. And look at this T90.
Oh, man.
Barles just going to slap another castle on the table.
Yeah, okay. I take back what I said 5 minutes ago. I'm not a fan of the Gebeto here. I take it back. I think it's officially reached the point where Conquistadors are just insane. The Gebeto are too fragile. The monastery holds the door open. Like, or rather, when the monastery's down, there's a hole in the wall, and then Barles can also get the relics. And now here comes Barles with the rams, but I don't think he'll actually ram the middle castle. I think he's going to go through the gate and ram the castle inside Mihai's base.
Yeah, I also think that where the Gebetos are falling off is a production issue, where you lost one of your castles, and you kind of need to be able to spam the Gebetos a bit more constantly than the Conquistadors.
Yeah.
And this second castle only just now coming in, I think, was a big issue there. Also, because it was asked several times in the chat, ballistics does not affect Gebetos.
No.
It's an easy one to not understand.
Yeah, also the castle position for Mihai, it doesn't allow him to group up his units very easily, so he's hoping to produce Gebeto and somehow get them where he needs them. That's a rather difficult task. But Barles sees the Gebeto have come into the base, so he would just go for the monastery now. I also really like that Barles goes for Bodcanero here. Your castles are ranging a lot of important area, and buildings in this case. So Bodcanero is a choice that both players should consider.
It's definitely something that is worth considering. Mihai can afford another castle, though. He could place it next to
inside Barles' base.
Or he could do that.
Inside Barles' base is the only option, because you're dying otherwise. You gotta send it. It's this type of game. There he goes. Barles sees the villagers. Barles knows what that means. He's bringing his conqs and his rams to the middle in a panic now. And he's losing some Conquistadors to conversions. The Gebeto are coming. The castle for Mihai is being built with like 30 villagers. And it's gonna go up. That castle's gonna complete. Barles has no clue what to do.
That was so beautiful from Mihai, and Barles totally panicked right there.
Yeah.
He just sent his army into the meat grinder.
Yep.
He tried to rush up a tower. The Rams did nothing. The Gebetos with the Conquistadors running into them just, lost a ton of HP. And honestly, T90, this castle doesn't do anything in the immediate. He loses, what, 2-3 farms?
But hold on. Mihai's got to go. He feels he has to go in with his Gebeto, but he actually needs his Gebeto at home because the conqs are still back there. And now the Rams could go push the main base. This game is complete chaos. It could still go either way. I have no clue, but I'm still leaning towards the villagers. At least you've got 30 more villagers if you're Mihai.
You sure do. And I mean, this is a real treat of a game number one. And if this is any indication, this set is going to be very close because Gebetto's still going to punch through the house pretty quickly. Barles not really going to have any food income. And once again, guys, nobody's close to Imp. That said, Barles' army is better overall right now.
Yeah, and they both have defense issues, but Conquistadors and Rams destroy a whole lot faster than just Gebetto. So if the plan for Barles is to go for the town center, he has the tools to do it. The Gebetto are still raiding, but he's so far avoiding them. Okay, he's going for the castle now, I think is the plan. Now, we have someone who's new to the scene wondering, like, why do these pros not research murder holes? Honestly, you gotta research murder holes here.
Yeah.
Yeah, murder holes.
Your Malians, it researches super fast.
I mean, I don't think he has the university.
No,
I don't think he has enough army. His Gebettos haven't done enough, and his castle just disappears.
Oh my goodness, beautiful move there from Barles. If the Conquistadors weren't on the other side of the castle at the time, then the repairs come in, you're dancing back and forth, and then you run the risk of losing everything.
Yep.
So Barles actually had to have the conchs on the other side of the castle right there, which is not easy to set up, and that was just very well done. And now Barles is going to start absconding with the relics of Mihai.
Yeah, you know it's a good game if Ornlu gets to bring in the abscond word, right? He could say abscond, and it's over, guys. It's over. Another castle here for Mihai, which should complete because he has a lot of vills, but then again, there's 20 conchs. And the castle will complete, but there's a resource issue for him right now, and the resource is gold. He'll shift over to one of the final golds in the game to the left side. But, like, I mean, Barles will have all 5 relics, or at least he'll have 3 relics for now, and there's a lot more gold collected over to the area where Barles has his eco.
What I love that Barles has done this game is he's just unafraid to go for the Rams. He's repairing them, he's producing a ton of them, and that building destruction capability is really, I think, what's separating the capabilities from both of these players at this point, where Mihai, yeah, you can run in and get villager kills, but you can't really destroy your opponent's infrastructure in the same way that Barles can, and that's why Mihai is down 2 castles.
I also think Barles has used his castles as a weapon more effectively. Barles has 37 kills in his castles because he got ballistics and he got Bodcanero. And part of that is, of course, taking down the first castle from Mihai. And also the guts as we see him dive here. And oh man, I think he needs to back up. But the guts to place that other castle forward on the wall, right? Like, it wasn't a passive castle. It was a really important position on an otherwise really small map.
Yeah, and herbal medicine coming in, going to be able to heal up those conquistadors very quickly, which you need to do because they ate a pretty big mangonel shot right there. And Mihai with another very passive castle location. I mean, I think I'm with you, T90. I think you need to try and start winning the game because there are 10 Rams, 11.
I mean, in Mihai's defense, he did place a very aggressive castle a minute ago. Unfortunately, it is now gone.
Yeah,
But that was aggressive. But Barles is going to build one himself. And with his 23 conchs that are healing up with herbal medicine inside the castles, he is going to make a play for the main base of Mihai. I mean, any direction he goes, there's a castle or a town center. One of the town centers is the Imp TC, which feels important to find.
As it happens, it's the one that's in the middle of the map, which is not the one I would have picked, but what do I know?
I think the logic just goes out the window, and they just simply think about it's all like reactions and what your instincts tell you in the moment. Right now, Barles, his instinct tells him that he can't go towards the main base of Mihai because Mihai has the Gebetto there, and now he's going to ram the castle and the town center that is taking Mihai to Imperial Age.
Oh my goodness, guys. Vills are going to attempt to repair, but the Gebettos were simply out of position to deal with all of these Rams. How often do we see
11 Rams?
Rams?
Yeah. I mean, it's risky, right? But if you take down the buildings, you win the game. His Conquistadors are just committing. We know the Conquistadors are good enough to kill the Gebetto, and the Rams are going to be good enough to take down the Sound Center and the castle. Unfortunate for Mihai, but his Imperial Age has been denied. And he will go imp in another TC, but I think he knows it's too late. He simply lost everything. Amazing start to the series, and just the adaptations from Barles were fantastic here. I thought Mihai played well, but Barles, even though he was behind in villagers most of the game, was able to take the better positions and the better engagements.
Absolutely. I mean, his eco was very stretched, but it could have been much worse, right? He still added those extra TCs. And
Yeah.
if you are as good positionally and with your on-the-fly decision-making as Barles was, it's okay to be a little bit behind in economy because he made the absolute most out of all of his units, and that was such a treat of a game number one.
Yeah, I mean, there was the one moment of panic, which was amazing, where he ran like into the town center in the castle when Mihai went forward. But beyond that, I think he was patient under a lot of pressure. Because Mihai lost, I do still have to sit here and think, do you really want to be in a position where you're playing these compositions against conquistadors? Like, are there better options for you to go forward castle? I feel like the answer is yes. But if he didn't draft Malians very high on the draft and it was like very late pick, which it was here, I'd consider it acceptable, right? Like he almost won the game. Malians is not one of his best civs. It was worth a shot. I just want to say, viewers, and I know I speak for Ornlu as well on this. It is so cool that we can sit here and be so excited about like these games and the player matchups and the civ strengths and weaknesses, and have other people be there who also enjoy it. Ornlu and I have been around a really long time. There was a time where maybe we could find like a dozen people, to be super involved and interested in this. So thank you everyone, not only for supporting TTL, but just like your interest in the game, interest in the scene. It's awesome. We've got game 2. We have Turks versus Bohemians, which I've seen a bunch on Arena, but I don't think I've seen that much on Bypass, just because Bypass is a bit of a newer map.
Yeah, and of course, couldn't agree more. I mean, this is just, it's so fun. And I don't know about you, but like some of my greatest joy I get as a caster is just sharing the excitement and like learning about AoE and the decisions that people make and why they make them, and just sharing it with the community and seeing other people get as hyped as you are.
Yeah, man. I still remember when I was playing AoE 2 HD in 2013. So I'm like in college at that time, and I want to game with some friends, and everyone was just like, why are you playing that game? It doesn't make any sense. The game is old. The list of reasons as to why you shouldn't play AoE 2 for the average gamer, even back then, was quite long. And my response was always like, I don't understand how you can't play this game. Like, how you can't understand. Like, once you get it, dude. Right? It's just that special. So, same boat, dude. Same boat. So,
Yeah.
I got to bring up the history again, because game 1, I tried to sound super smart, call out that Mihai went transport ship in week 1, and then, of course, he didn't freaking do it at all, right? But Mihai went against Vivi in the group stage. He went Turks, and he went kind of like fastish feudal into a mini boom with farms with horse collar, and then he went fast imp into hand cannons and bombard cannons, which is kind of old school Turk style. So I'm wondering if Barles will A, know that, and then B, expect it, and then C, what's he going to do about it?
Yeah, actually, I'd completely forgotten about that game until you just brought it up. Yeah, that was a really interesting style, but one that felt tailor-made to the assumption that Vivi went aggressive with towers, which is what he did.
True.
And I think that you see the Civ matchup here, Barles is very comfortable on closed maps, one of the best out there, actually. I don't think we're going to be seeing that, so I think Mihai would probably do well to take a different approach here.
No, I 100% agree. I think Mihai read Vivi like a book. He knew Vivi was a player who likes to play open, aggressive maps, and that Vivi would likely go towers and archers. And, Barles had his option in the previous map, while it was different to go Feudal Age Navy, which he never did. He's obviously going to go for a boom. Okay, so saying all that, we don't expect Feudal Age from either player. What do you do then, right? I suppose for the Bohemians, because of the cheaper blacksmith, it's much easier for you to reach Castle Age, and then with that, maybe you drop second TC. For the Turks, you could play, you could boom, you could go light cav for map control, which could add value on the sides of the map, Or you could still go for the castle drop, which obviously could be very terrifying to deal with.
I mean, it's very interesting because there are so many different ways you can approach things. Neither of these civs are sort of the obvious boom civs. They can both play one TC very effectively, but they don't have to.
Yeah.
Especially in a matchup where neither is going to sort of be at a booming disadvantage because neither are like super strong eco civs. So it really feels like this is going to be a stylistic choice that, okay, both these players drafted these civs pretty high. Yeah, pick number 2 versus pick number 1. So whatever strategy they feel most comfortable with and prepped with, I think should feel pretty good here.
Yeah, I think for Mihai, though, he's not the favorite in the set. I think the slight favorite is Barles. And this is now, you're taking a risk. You're going to his map to try and get a win. You lose this, I think you start to have some doubt creep into your mind. But at the same time, if you win, it's 1-1, and you still have both of your home maps remaining. So that could be a really good spot to be in.
Yeah, I mean, because you lost game number 1, you need to take one of your opponent's home maps. So if you can sneak the win here, then you can at least have some confidence knowing that, okay, all I need to do is win my own home maps, and then I'm into the round of 8.
Yeah.
And I don't know, has Mihai gotten round of 8 in an S tier before?
That's something for viewers to give us info on.
Yeah, because it's either close to or his best result ever, which would be great for him.
Yeah. Mihai's in a weird spot in TTL. Everyone put him into the category of player like Sebastian, who everyone just assumed that he was going to rise up and be consistently top 16. And then I think there was a season in gold. Everyone thought, oh, he's going to get promoted. And I think he didn't. So he was in gold for an extra year versus what people expected. Obviously then got promoted for this season, and he will be platinum again. But
I think he ran into like Hart or Jordan or something. Like he had the absolute worst possible qualifying match, if I remember correctly.
who was it? It wasn't Hart, because Hart didn't get promoted. Hart's always been platinum. I'm trying to remember. You're definitely right. He played up against somebody in a playoff, I think, because he didn't win his group. And then that playoff was a brutal name. Kingston, maybe? I think it was Kingston once. No, that was...
Ooh.
The Kingston set was a qualifier for the Garrison, actually, where Kingston won. Maybe I'm wrong. Maybe Hart was relegated. Because wasn't Hart... He was away from the game, and he had to promote his way up. Because he wasn't active in the first and second season. So I think you're right. It might have been running into Hart.
Well, then, it's the broken clock right twice a day, because usually my memory for these things is not very good. But
I don't know. I'm just speculating. And of course I'm like, hey, viewers, help me out. And someone says Huang, and then somebody says T90 lazy, and then somebody says, no, do your job, T90. So it's our job to know these things. We need to be better, apparently.
I'm sorry, chat. We will endeavor to be better casters in the future.
Yeah, sorry we didn't remember the specific set from 2.5 years ago. So, Blacksmith and Stable for Mihai. And this will be one of the many options we mentioned. This is more of the map control choice. He will go for Scouts. A free light cav upgrade, of course, makes that very solid against Monks. And Barles, he's actually shown his strategy as well, because he's gone Market and Blacksmith. Or at least not his strategy, but his build. Barles is up much faster, and I'm assuming we're going to see him just drop town centers here.
Yeah, this feels like a very safe approach from Barles. He's got the house wall at the front of his base, just not taking any unnecessary risks. And, okay, he's getting his eco upgrades. 4 villagers on gold as Bohemians really says to me, okay, I want a monastery. I want to be able to at least pick up some relics and make sure I'm not completely stuck at home, but I'm really still looking to add in those TCs.
You know what it was? It was Vinchester's fault. Yeah, so remember, Season 1, Vinchester wins TTL. He wins his first S tier. Season 2, Vinchester gets relegated, so he goes down to gold. Season 3, he's in Mihai's group. And, sorry, not in Mihai's... No, he was in Mihai's group. And Vinchester and Capoch were first and second. And then Mihai was third. And then, yes, Mihai went in and played a best of 5 against Hart and then lost. So that's kind of Mihai's story. Then he's back at gold in Season 4. He gets promoted. Not in first place, by the way. He was actually in second place in his group because of Rapard winning that group, which is crazy. And now, now we're here, and we know Mihai will be platinum again next season. But yeah, nice little storyline. But it's clear that like, if one really big player, one really big name underperforms, it affects everything. Right?
Yeah, it really does.
So,
and I know you've spoken out why you don't have like the up and down matches where it's like the losers of platinum and the winners versus gold, and I think that's reasonable, but like that's what happens, right? Is because you're guaranteed to get these top players who are just knocked down, because that happens every season, and then you just have somebody who might crush it through gold, and it's very interesting.
Well, it's like Tato before our next series. Tato's thinking like, I got second place in my group behind Leary, who went undefeated. That's a pretty good group stage. What's my reward in the playoffs? Oh, congratulations, you get Viper now. because Viper was a little bit off. So I think regardless of what you do, if you have a player underperform or even overperform, it's going to shake things up in any tournament. But we've got
But I think that makes it interesting, because if it's like the obvious player winning every single set, and then it's like, okay, why are we even watching the tournament until like the last few stages? But
yeah, agreed.
There's a lot of variance here that make it exciting.
Well, the value as well for like the players who are always going to lose a lot of their sets, but if they can snag one win, that set actually has meaning is really important. So we've seen that in a lot of these sets in TTL.
But I mean, the only reason VV's not in the playoffs is because he lost one game to Dark. When
Dark's already out.
Him.
Yep,
when Dark's out. Yep.
Also, Dark ruined Dragonstar's chances of survival. I think it wouldn't have mattered in the end. But Dark was like, I'm going down, and I'm screwing you guys up on the way down. So it's 3 TC from Barles. He's just going straight eco approach. Mihai is going the mix, and the mix can be very strong. But in these moments, I always think about, this is an arena. This isn't hideout. There is a wide open gap between the player bases in the middle. So if Barles can like just push that area with anything, Mihai's wide open. So Mihai has to respect that. Now, Mihai hasn't built any of his town centers or buildings in that area. So if he gets pushed, it doesn't hurt him. And he is going to get the town center up on the outside, which Barles can't do anything about. So it's just the beauty of the map is you have so many different options.
Yeah, and like obviously this map isn't arena, but if you sort of take the logic of you want to invest the bare minimum more than your opponent on map control, so that you can then have all of your other resources spent on economy, but still have that advantage when it comes to fighting for map control. Mihai still made 4 scouts. Now, of course, the free light cav upgrade is great for the Turks, but you probably could have gotten away with literally making just 1 or 2 extra scouts, and even then he's not tracking his opponent as well as he needs to, because the scout just ran in and got that free monk snipe.
That's so... I cannot stress it to people who watch but do not play. The feeling of elation that Barles just felt is like winning the lottery, right? Your opponent goes light cav, your opponent's whole build is to kill monks, they don't kill any, and you use your starting scout to kill the monk. Like, oh, that is chef's kiss right there. That is so satisfying. And Barles...
I mean, usually that level of excitement is reserved for researching Fortified Wall, but, you know, this is up there as well.
Everyone's got their different excitement level. I personally don't get excited for that, but now... And I'm just getting really excited already. We don't know how it's going to play out, but I just think Barles has played this perfectly. He's basically sacrificed map control, and he's gone for economy. I also like the nice touch of building the TC out here, because he's like, I can. What are you going to do about it? And now he's going to try and take the map control back. I assume anyways. He's got the university up already. He's got double archery range. This feels like chemistry for me and not imp.
Yeah, and I was just thinking, right, because this map, it has so much more of that late Castle Age aggressive potential that you don't have on Arena or even Hideout because of the rush distance. You can just go right down the middle, and there we go. Chemistry's coming in. Bohemian Castle Age hand cannoneers can be very tough to stop. But what is Mihai doing? He is already walling behind this, except for the one tile that he forgot about.
I think
in theory, it's good.
Yeah, I think the villagers started to get converted. And because the villagers started to get converted, he backed up, and that's why he did the next layer of wall. But yeah, the positives for Mihai is he's done a couple critical things. He's in a situation where he could actually evacuate if he gets pushed because he hasn't built his town centers or buildings there. He also has an outpost, so the second he sees anything, he has a lot of time to make informed decisions. And then also part of this is he sees the university, but I think he's going to be confused because if you see this castle, you're not expecting fast chemistry and hand cannon push. You're thinking like Barles is playing defensive and Barles is going imp. So maybe a little bit of confusion here incoming for Mihai.
Early treadmill train coming in once again. We really do see players prioritize that upgrade a lot more, but you'll see the flaming arrows, or you can just click on the TC and see the +1 attack.
No, yeah, good point.
That should be a tip-off. Hand cannoneers are indeed on the way, and the concern I have for Mihai is, one, his eco is worse just because Barles, I think, as we were discussing, had the better build. He got his eco running sooner. That's a lot of farming infrastructure. That's 27 farms in his base. And if that is getting pushed, I think you're really going to struggle to find an answer to what your opponent is doing.
I've said it like 1,000 times by now, but the reason we added the hunt on the outside was not actually so people can boom with it. It's escape food, right? So it's like in situations where you have to relocate your food eco, for a while you can invest like 200 wood. You can get enough food to hold on and go towards your better tech. But yeah, let's see. Barles is going to be through in no time. The hand cannons are already on the way. He's got a petard that he's produced from his castles, 2 petards rather, to run through the middle. And Mihai will see the petard walking. So Mihai needs to defend this right away. He could see it. He can't see it because he lost the outpost, but he'll drop the castle at what feels like the perfect time.
Yeah, and I wouldn't even hate if those gold miners also went there to rush up the castle. That said, you do need 2 petards to come in, but it's actually barely 2 petards, and the hand cannons deal enough damage there that still, I think, just enough time for Mihai, but this is really close, guys.
Wow, that's so well calculated from Mihai, though. Like, this could have easily just completely won Barles the game, but Mihai defends the position with the castle. He still has the outside stone and gold. He also has 3 relics with, I believe, a 4th going home, and he has his eyes on the 5th. So Barles will click imp, and Barles can still be competitive here, but this was not how Barles wanted it to go. A lot of players out there will not get that chemistry upgrade and delay their Imperial Age if they think there's any chance they won't find reward for the attack.
And Barles will be slower, but Barles still has the stronger economy. He is on his way to imp. It will be slower than his counterpart. And you have to still think that, okay, I'm Bohemians. I can still win in the late game just with a mountain of gunpowder and trash units. He's still expanding to the outside. And I still think Barles has a good solid shot, even if that particular attack didn't work.
Gotta appreciate this Spearman and this Petard. They go way back. They've been buddies since they were kids. They always wanted to go into war together, but they have different tools available. So there they go.
I would make a joke about T90 and Dave, but that just feels wrong.
Yeah, I don't know who would be more offended, Dave being called the bald guy or me being called the Spearman. But
yeah, I figured one or the other would work.
At least I've got some bonus damage at play, so I'll take it. There's a castle from Barles. I mean, Barles knows he's got the stronger military right now, and he wants to force the issue, but Mihai already completes his castle. Again, perfect time. He will have a Treb on the way, and he's Turk, so he can instantly make bomber cannons to pressure that castle as well.
True, but on the northeast, you have the 2 siege workshops in, and I mean, you might as well have the instant chemistry. I mean, it's already researched, so you can make bombard cannons as the Bohemians player.
Yeah,
so
true. It's actually,
those players have reasons to be happy here.
It's actually really awkward, too. If Barles just sits next to the siege workshop, I don't know if Mihai can take the risk to hop out with the bombard cannon. You probably do, because you need that bomber cannon right now. But he doesn't have the army support yet. The long-term plan here is going to be cav archers. And, okay, now the hand cannons move away. Now the bomber cannon can eject. And now the protection of the castle should be enough. And what a fun game. The cav archers for Mihai are actually going to the other side, but he's misplaced them. He wants to deny the stone. Loses a couple to the castle fire there.
There's also a villager that will die to the lion if it's not careful, so any sort of forward buildings that you're going for would be unsuccessful. Masonry being rushed up. That's how you know somebody's just a little bit more enlightened of an AoE player. If you don't even need to get chemistry right now, so just go ahead and get masonry.
Remember, Mihai doesn't have a TC on the other side. So it's middle and outside, but this outside area is getting pressured. So this is a pretty big swing right here. If he loses this, he does have the relics, but it's not like he's got all these other resources. He also had a Treb in his base that got stuck at a certain point. That Treb just went down to those hand cannons from Barles. And it looks like both players are going to end up losing their castles, which means the Bombard Cannon micro is important. But Sipahi Cav Archers, something we haven't talked about a lot, can be very strong for the Turks. That's the plan for Mihai. But I feel like he tried to do too much. Like, the Cav Archers going the other way, it feels so much less helpful than just bringing the Cav Archers here now. Like, if you had the Cav Archers, you probably are taking a better fight against Barles.
Yeah, and you lost 2 Bombard Cannons for free. We have a random guard tower incoming. Okay, that's a little bit weird. But your Mihai, you're developing the stronger, like, core unit. I mean, hand cannons are not going to scale anywhere near as well as Turk Cav Archers. Aeroslit's coming in too. Oh my goodness. This is just Barles things, man. Other than Tato, nobody else does this.
Yeah, Barles has gone for more towers than anyone in this season. And Barles doesn't have enough to protect. The Cav Archers seem strong. Trebs are still there as well for Mihai, which could take down the towers, and he could cling to life here. Left side becomes important, and the Cav Archers are still over there for Mihai. He's also dropping a castle over there. And he might end up getting that 5th relic as well. He's very close to bringing it in.
Yeah, I mean, I know we just casted Lewis, but Mihai is going to be the one who's going to bring it on home, as that is going to be an essential tool for him here going into the late game.
Man, it's wild how different their economies are right now. Like, Mihai has the golds, but he has very little on food. He's only got 19 on food and needs to eventually fix that. Barles has 31 on food and 54 on wood, but he's kind of run out of stone and gold. And he will start to reclaim some stone and gold on the other side. But as he does that, then Mihai is going to be pushing the right side, which gives him more space and time to deny stone and gold. So, personally, I think I prefer Mihai's position because Barles seems to really be struggling playing the sides. But it's been some pretty rough engagements on both sides.
Yeah, both players have lost a lot of Bombard Cannons that they probably didn't need to if, the micro was perfect. But it's been an even miss micro so far, so it still feels like this could very much go either way. I do like Turks a little bit more in general because you sort of have the 3 different lanes on this map, whereas Bohemians are going to be more wanting to fight in one giant blob. And Mihai really doing a nice job leveraging that mobility of the CA.
Let's see if this Bombard Cannon gets canceled from Barles. It's a nice little detail that I don't think you can think about under pressure. But I think that Bombard Cannon is just a free kill for Mihai if he doesn't cancel it. There are some skirms on the way, but Mihai's done a nice job to mostly clear up this side. But Barles has done a good job to mostly push the left side. It's just everything, and then we forget that the middle exists, right? Like, who's going to remember that you can just push right into the heart of the farming eco at the same time?
Well, neither player at the moment, but what I like here from Barles is he's leveraging those trash units. The advantage you're going to get is, as the Bohemians here, is that you can just get to 200 population, in theory, faster than your opponent, because your units are very cheap and efficient. That said, it's not quite there yet, and this is where trying to push on multiple angles can be so tricky. And yet, Mihai doesn't have an answer to skirmishers right now, other than Bombard Cannons. He has nowhere near the food income to make Hussars.
You know what I like about this game is, I mean, they're both playing an incredible level. It's very even, but it's also, like, so even that you are just reminded, oh, yeah, Age of Empires 2 is freaking hard, man. Like, this game is very difficult. They both have been so evenly matched, it doesn't seem like it's just, like, super easy to manage all these things. Now, does that mean that maybe they're not gonna be quite as sharp as some others in some key situations? Maybe, but I think both players just doing a great job at balancing out what they need. For Barles, he needed stone and gold. He found it. For Mihai, he needed food. He's fixed it. He's up to 43 on food. And, I mean, we're about to be in a situation where it's 200 pop for both of them, and they both are splitting a side. We're very close to that. It would be really fun if that ends up being the case.
I mean, already this series has just been such a gem to get to cast with you, man, because both of these games are just so interesting. There's so much to talk about, so many different decisions these players can and have made. That said, I think he said without much confidence that Mihai should be set up better here in a long game.
In a long game, if he can still mine gold. That's the main thing, and I'm still not seeing a lot of gold. There's gold in the back of his base. There's the 4 relics. But he can't freely mine the gold on the right. Barles is locking down the gold on the left. So Barles can be fine without relics for a long time. And Barles gets spears and skirms, which don't even cost gold, which could be kind of a nightmare for the Turks. But there is a weakness to the Halbs, right? You always need to have the skirms to partner with them. And it's the same with the skirms once the Hussars come out. And so I think for Barles, that little raid attempt, I think it's just going to be a waste. If the Cav Archers go over there, those Halbs should be killed.
They likely will, and the CA are just going to run right on back, and you are slowly assembling that full Cav Archer plus Hussar combo. I mean, it's always been one of the most efficient for a bunch of civs in these 1v1 situations, and you are getting there as Mihai. That said, Barles, he knows he has the numbers right now. I mean, just look at the military numbers, guys. There's a reason that this is where Bohemians can excel, and he's taking the map control right now when he has the chance, which is essential.
Also, Mihai's overbooming because of the stress. 161 vills is not what you want. I think you can justify 161 vills if you're overloading on gold and stone, but that's just because he's stressed at the moment. He'll need to recognize that because he needs more military than 33. You got to have at least like 50 here, unless you can camp castles with artillery bombard cannons. If you can camp castles with 14-range bombard cannons, maybe then the military for Barles won't matter.
Yeah, and I'm just thinking, if the civs were reversed, and this is Barles playing Turks, I think that's exactly what happens, is we're looking at artillery bombard towers, bombard cannons, and it doesn't matter if you're on 160 vills, or like if MBL was playing this game, I think that would also look very similar. But you're trying to play this more, mobile unit style that you just need the pop space for. I mean, you just need enough units here, and yet the Cav Archer is going to try and keep the castle alive a little bit longer.
How cool is it that Barles brings trebs and cannons? Most people just bring inferior cannons, and then that's not enough. But Barles brings the cannons and the trebs. There's a forced reaction now, and he's dropping bombard towers to secure the position, all while simultaneously castling the other side to push that position as well. He knows the Mihai will run out of gold even with the relics. He wants that castle, but...
it's tough. Siege Engineers is in, and Hofmitsa is on the way. And of course, that is basically the doom upgrade here for so many civs. Turks can survive, though.
Oh my god.
Bombard towers are so awesome. I just love this game, man.
The Treb sniped 2 cannons there. Yeah. And the bombard towers are getting kills. Mihai is struggling to keep up. Obviously, they got to look at both sides. I still think if Mihai could just Hussar raid the main base of Barles, Barles would have big troubles. But it's hard to think about that when you need to clear this. Mihai will clear 1, 2, should clear all 3 trebuchets. And his castle...
the bombard can get sniped again, but yeah, it's
his
enough.
Castle stays up. He ran out of stone. His castle will still stand at least. What a game, man. This is insane.
It absolutely is. The food eco is not where you want it, though. 70 on wood is not what you want in this situation. The eco balance of Barles is basically perfect, given the situation. And he's going to get all of his own upgrades in, and then once Hofnitza's in, it's going to be so much more difficult to do anything about. He's already got Wagenborg tactics to improve the movement speed and make him that much more difficult to micro against. And, I mean, how are you going to keep this castle alive with the bombard tower wall coming in?
Barles just recognized, he's like, okay, go ahead, have your 5 relics. Because 5 relics does not equate to the amount of gold and stone that I will secure for myself. And 5 relics is not enough gold for Turks to make bombard cannons consistently. It's not enough gold for them to make Cav Archers consistently. And the Cav Archer mass is just... I mean, it's bordering on the definition of mass. I don't even think it is that. It's a tiny group of Cav Archers at this point. So...
a gaggle of Cav Archers?
A gaggle of Cav Archers, thank you. Yes, that's what it is. And you don't really know what to do if you're Mihai because you're just stuck. You cannot push either side. It's all heavily fortified, and you can't even push the middle because there's a bombard tower and walls there from Barles.
Oh, man. And I think, honestly, this game is just a beautiful demonstration of Barles is one of the best late game players out there. I mean, Mihai is playing really well, but the sort of chess match back and forth. It just feels like Barles is making every correct decision. And I just love how he secured the map control when he did. The bombard towers coming in at the right times. It just feels like every single move is exactly what he needs.
Mihai is trying to take the fights to different directions now. So he's Hussar raiding the north, getting some good kills. He also has the bombard cannon taking down the towers. He has the Hussars in the south as well. All while still holding his castle and bringing in more bombard cannons. You know, I agree. Credit to Barles. But if Barles is distracted by these raids, he could always overextend with his siege here. Let's see if Barles pays attention. Yeah, he's paying attention. The attacks have kind of stopped in the other areas. So there's not a lot of need for focus elsewhere. And it's actually Mihai who looks away as they both trade down some siege there.
Yeah, and I mean, just look at, though, the wood that Mihai has banked up. This is, I mean, not great, guys, because having 70 villagers almost on wood right now just doesn't really do anything for you. And if you had, like, 20 of those that were now heavy cav archers, then this looks like a much more manageable engagement. But right now, Mihai is out of stone, and because the trebuchets are mixed in, you get that nice, consistent damage, and now even another bombard cannon falls.
Yeah, he has no other choice. Barles is controlling the map. He has no other choice for Rez. The only thing he can take is wood. The only thing he can take is food. He has to push one of the sides. He's trying to do both. He will take a treb. That treb takes his cannon, though, which means the towers will still stand. The Hufnitsa will still stand. And on the other side, Barles will lose a Hufnitsa, but he's still got control of the stone and gold there.
He does, and it's really just a matter of, okay, it's okay if you can't mine it right now, but so long as your opponent can't mine it either, you still have been taking far more efficient fights, and you have the better resources, and you still have that map control, and the cannons are still there, but the cav archers are swooping in.
I mean, you could tell how dangerous these CA are. If you get even 14 of them there, you can run in while your opponent's distracted and save a castle and snipe the Hufnitsa. The problem, again, though, it's not a lot of cav archers. He's using what limited gold he has to buy stone to repair this castle, and Barles can always produce more. And Barles is also banking up to produce more on the other side as well. I feel like Mihai needs... Like, we're stuck in this never-ending cycle. Mihai needs to do something different. And I think what that something different is the middle. And I could be wrong on that, but imagine if you showed up with 3 cannons there, took down the tower, took down the wall, and then Hussars there. Barles would have all of his farms exposed, and then he would have to use the side production buildings, the barracks on both sides to go into the middle, which is extremely awkward.
Well, just with the composition you've chosen to work with, you want to utilize mobility.
Yeah.
I mean, there's a reason that you're making Hussars and cav archers and things that move quickly. But the fights you're taking are all in this one choke-pointy area where you have the cannons and the trash units, and it's going to be so hard to be efficient there. And it just feels like Mihai isn't quite setting himself up for the success he needs. The right side is currently featuring a lot of Hofnitsa destroying a castle, as well as a trebuchet. And, I mean, Mihai, it feels like he's running out of options fast.
Yeah, Mihai does kill one Hufnitsa. But he will have no defense back there if Halbs or skirmishers get in for the raids, and I think he's just full focus on the left side. He's losing the right or the north, and while he might be able to defend from what Barles has here, he cannot take the towers. The towers just prove such an important fortification there.
Yeah, and sure, the cavalry is generally speaking quite tanky, but it's also very expensive. And that's a lot of units that just died. Mihai still has 74 farmers, so that's still very good, but the cav archer numbers just aren't quite where you need them to be, and Barles can easily replenish these lost forces, and the bombard towers and halbs continue to creep to the north.
Yeah, now's the issue. So now you have 10 cav archers. Those cav archers need to be sent the other way now, or you need to mass more cav archers with no gold. And yeah, it's just a slow crawl. It's been patient the whole way here from Barles. It's been less chaotic than the previous game, but in the intense moments, Barles is able to show patience. And unfortunately, 5 relics. With any other civ, might be fine, because you could mix in some trash units. But with Turks, you don't get Halb, you don't get Elite Skirm. You would need... I think if you had 10 relics, you would still maybe struggle. Maybe 10's enough, but...
10 relics is a lot of relics.
Yeah.
But I think even beyond the civ, the fact is, Mihai never kept his gold units alive, and he never really invested into getting that sort of unkillable army. Now, Barles sort of switched between the gold buildings in the form of the Bombard Towers and the gold units with the Hofnitze, but he's done such a better job of preserving that value.
Agreed. I think every time he loses a fight on the left side, thankfully he's always had the towers to still hold the position and give him some time to react. He will lose Hofnitze. The castle from Mihai that's taken 36k damage will still stand, but now he's getting pushed by Halbs on the other side. And Barles, while he actually has no gold income at the moment, he does still have golden stone available to take. Though even that's running dry.
It's going to be tough, and if we're thinking, like, in terms of hideout, this is where the Hussar Civ really wishes they could just push right through the middle, but even then, that would be very difficult because of all the stuff that Barles has here. He's got the Bombard Tower, and there's just no way that Mihai could ever divert enough resources to do that, so it feels like Barles is making sure that the fights are constantly happening, and you're not opening yourself up to that greater mobility of your opponent.
Yeah, Barles is looking at this like, perfect. The first two games have been castle-oriented, boom-oriented, the exact maps that I would have wanted. Wins the first game, which is the neutral map. Mihai loses that. Mihai then goes to his home map with a bit of a gamble here. And Barles might even be thinking, like, come on, man. Like, don't even disrespect me thinking you're going to get away with that. Like, there's no way. There's no way you just picked my home map after losing the first game.
Oh man, so much wood is getting sold right now because Mihai just needs that golden stone so desperately, and yet the Hussars are all running right into the Bohemian Halberdiers. And what are you really getting? 11 Cav Archers with a few more on the way, 1 Bombard Cannon. This castle's taken 42,000 damage and yet is actually probably going to die finally.
I think the difference in the game will be, while Mihai, while Barles didn't actually win the North immediately, he was always competitive to push that position, and then he was also very competitive to fully secure the position in the south, or the west side of the map, whatever you want to call it.
The southwest.
Southwest. I guess there is a direction for that.
But yeah, I mean, I totally agree. It's the fact that he had access to the Golden Stone, and Mihai simply did not. He could not quite get to the army composition, but it's so tough to play this sort of map, trying to develop your Imperial Age like this, and Barles just did it so well. Yep.
Nice raid here from Mihai, so there's some positives. Only, unfortunately, when you raid someone this late, that's actually fine, because then they get even more helps. They get even more military, because they've had a pretty healthy queue. Barles is actually denying the wood lines pretty soon, as he will take down the bombard cannons, or close to it anyways, for Mihai. And he's got 26 bombard towers in the north, 26 kills. He's got 45 kills on the bombard towers in the southwest. Ridiculous value from those towers.
Yeah, I mean, this is exactly where and how you use bombard towers in AoE 2. I mean, I've seen people say that bombard towers should be buffed. No, this is exactly how you use them, guys. You just anchor that push, make sure that you do not lose space, and that you can just slowly whittle down your opponent here. And, I mean, you're totally right, I think, where losing bills doesn't really matter. You have such a huge bank, you can liquidate that and turn it into more military, and Mihai is just steadily losing ground, and there we go.
Yep, Mihai taps out, Barles goes up 2-0. I mean, there's silver linings again. You've lost these games, but that was the best Civ for Barles. Game 1 was his second best Civ, and this was the map for Barles. So in theory, Mihai still got like his 2 best maps remaining. He could win the next 2, and then go in and be even on the 5th game. But honestly, like, Mihai played amazing here. Like, the defense from the castle, getting the 5 relics, none of that's easy to do. He was in Impet a good time to make bombard cannons. Like, he kind of got everything that Turks won, but Barles just played that much, that one extra level better, utilizing the trash units, everything we already said. He just denied the map. Well played.
Yeah. I will say the silver lining here for Mihai is that this is where Barles should be at his best. And yeah, you lost,
It was
but
close.
it was very, very close.
Yep. Yeah. Also pointed out here from a chatter, which is probably worth mentioning. Last 5 games Mihai has played in TTL, he has lost every single one now because he went 0-3 against Viper, round 5, and now he's down 2 games. So he's got to get past the whatever little funk it is. I think he's played better today than he played versus Viper in group stage, and there's maybe reasons for the losses, but it's got to add up.
All right, welcome everybody to game number 3. T90 had to relieve himself for a moment, but we are here, and it's Mihai's tournament life on the line. I hope you guys have been enjoying this set. It's been a really, really fun couple of games, and honestly, I hope it continues longer because we have Mihai in the yellow as the new Civ, the 2P to the west of the map, and to the east in the purple. I have no idea what T90's looking at, by the way. It is going to be Barles as the Persians. So we have the classic Civ, the traditional hybrid power pick with the Persians, but Mihai is going to be the 2P, and he is going to be doing something aggressive here. So yeah, guys, this is a huge stakes game. The winner of this set will be going ahead to face Sebastian. So that's going to be a really exciting one coming up this week. No, there's going to be no TC drop, but yeah, I hope you guys have been enjoying the Cocast. It's been a lot of fun. T90's been having me on, and I think we're giving a good experience. Indeed. But the Chompy's over here, so a good thing that T90 was following it. Is he going to try and take the Elefanto? Oh, he's lurking. He's lurking in the shadows. Now, Persians tend to go for the dock very early if they can help it. You get that extra starting wood and food, so you want to make sure that game is paused.
And I'm back. Hopefully no bugs here. Okay, Mihai had a freeze. Feel free to continue. I think you were talking about, the lame.
I was.
Mihai is going to steal the food from Barles here. Now, Barles has an immediate decision here. He's pushing in the zebra. He could continue to do that, or he could use the additional scout speed to try and get in front of this. I don't know, man. If you're in the old days, it used to be easier to lame with slower units, but these days, if you don't have the speed, you're always going to get blocked. I think Mihai just goofed up.
Yeah, the Scout Cavalry is right there. The Chompies have such low HP that you could end up having a really rough time. And it's not like Barles needs that elephant right now. He's just happily taking his other one. That's going in. And because the Chompy Scout's slower, its fate is sealed, as indeed it will ultimately bite the dust. And that, T90, is the weight of 9 nerfs at once.
Yeah, the unit used to be faster, right? When they introduced it, the unit was faster. Could maybe get away with that lame, but they made it slower. There was a variety of other things, but I think beyond that, Mihai's just looking for any type of advantage right now, right? And laming, we've seen change games for the lamer or the person who's going to be doing the lame, getting lamed. And now Mihai wants to go for a dock, which Barles knows, and Barles gets the villager kill as well. This is such a good start from Barles. I mean, he's still able to be up here, still able to potentially deny the dock. Mihai's going to get loom, but I'm so impressed with Barles. You deny the lame, you react to it instantly. You know your opponent's going to dock, you kill the villager. There's still actually a chance that he could complete his own dock in the north and come deny this. He's just played a perfect series so far.
It's honestly really incredible, and Barles, there was a really nice Reddit write-up. I don't know if you saw it, of like a bunch of different stats with TTL this season.
I did, yeah.
And apparently Barles is one of the few players who's been in Platinum every season. And that's just an incredible degree of consistency for somebody who we don't typically see as like a top 5 player.
Yes.
And I know personally, I love watching him play. He's really smart, and I would love to see him see some success here.
Yeah, I mean, no, you're absolutely right. Barles, and I tried to frame that thinking for the viewers coming into this season. He's one of, like, what was it, like 9 people who've been in every season? There's not many, because some people were relegated once, or some people were...
I think it's even less. I think it's like 5 or 6 players.
Yeah, or some people weren't playing then, or they took a break. Like, Barles has always been there. There was one season, I think early season, where it was very close between he and Sito on who would survive, and he clutched it there to end up surviving. So, I mean, right now, I mean, I don't think it could get any worse for you if you're Mihai. You start off, you lose your scout, you lose your villager, your dock is delayed. If you win this one, then you're like, holy crap, that was an amazing comeback, but good luck. Like, Barles is on the way up to feudal age already. He's Persian, so he'll only get more villagers than you, and I don't know how much you've speculated on what Mihai was going to do with the Tupi, but it's not going to be a fast castle into Blackwoods like we saw in the other set.
No, it is not, and it's a little bit odd because there's no barracks yet, but I mean, who knows really what Mihai had planned originally, because his entire game plan had to be thrown out of the window. Losing a villager like that, losing your scout during the lame, it feels like you need to go to plan B, and I have no idea what that plan B is.
Well, you have no vision, and it's very likely your opponent will open with man-at-arms, so I think the first thing you try is you try and go to gold. Golden wood means you can be competitive on water with some ships, and also the archers. Ideally, you pre-wall some res if you are being rushed by man-at-arms, but obviously we know he's not. But yeah, you play archers, you hope that you can recover with a couple kills. And I think we're about to see a second dock from Mihai. The villager's moving around like that's the plan. So maybe it is just full water instead of any land play from Mihai.
Well, there is a Hulk immediately on the way here for Barles. He's hitting feudal age with plenty of resources. Already almost 400 resources ahead. T90 is wild. But Barles, I think if you're him at this point, just play safe.
Yeah.
And of course, I say that and he immediately goes for a stable, which is pretty atypical, but interesting.
I mean, I don't hate it. You have a lot of food. You might be expecting champions, and scouts are better against champions than they would be man-at-arms, correct?
Yes.
So if you're expecting champions, you then have the scouts for that. If your opponent obviously is playing archers or something, you have a mobile unit to catch up to it. So yeah, I don't hate it. Right now, I think he's looking for information. He's a little confused because he doesn't see Mihai building a barracks, and he hasn't seen a second dock from Mihai either. But this is just more reinforcement that Barles is just playing locked in right now. He's like, all right, I've checked all of his base. I see what resources he's taking. He's not down here in the south. He doesn't have a barracks. He doesn't have an archery range. He must be going water is probably the conclusion. And now he's even going to find that as well and see the second dock with the Hulk in the north.
Yeah, the one thing that Barles is missing right now is double bit axe. There's zero reason for him not to have that upgrade right there. It is such a critically important upgrade. But what I think is also interesting is he's just not on gold. He's not trying to fight for water. You need gold to make warships.
Yeah, true.
So it's just scouts.
Mihai is in the back of Barles' base.
Oh, hi.
I mean,
I'm sorry, T90. I didn't see that.
I mean, it kind of blends in, which is why some people don't like yellow. Yeah, I mean, it's there. I don't think Barles will expect it either. Oh, hold on a second. At some point, if Barles sees... If Barles sees the tower at home and he sees... Well, he doesn't see anything. I wonder when he starts to outpost. This is going to get a little suspicious here.
But you have to know something's up. Jump into the settlement. There you go. Well done there from Mihai. I mean... The alarm bells have to be ringing, like, you know, DEFCON 17 at this point, because something's not right.
Well, yes and no, though, right? Because Tupi are new, and you're still thinking that players think champions are strong. So, in theory, Mihai could just be fish booming and waiting for champions in Castle Age. So, and you're getting damage, too. So, if you're getting damage, you don't really feel like you need to look for anything else. He's also mostly walled. Well, he's not really mostly walled, but... I don't know. It's crazy that Mihai is going for the second range now. I mean, imagine though, you win this game, and then you've got some momentum finally. Maybe it could work.
I mean,
everything's back here. Like the wood is back here, the berries is back here. Dude, this is gonna hurt. This is gonna hurt big time.
Oh my goodness. I'm sorry, T-Nutty. I got the def comms backwards. The higher number is just less of an issue.
It's all right. I wasn't really too worried on the accuracy there. Not gonna lie.
No, I was putting it down. It's just, oh yeah, guys. Barles is so worried right now. That's why he's taking his melatonin and his herbal tea.
I mean, he's probably so confused. So confused. Okay, here comes the archer. It's a problem for Mihai. Mihai tried to collect enough stone to tower his gold earlier. Remember that villager that got attacked? He didn't get the stone, so he'll be pushed off the gold. If there was a time to make your move if you're Mihai, it's now, because you're taking losses.
Yeah.
It's still open. He's getting fletching. Unfortunate for him, he wasn't able to get that 5 stone, but that's just because Barles has been playing so well. And here we go. Barles is like, I'm about to win the series. I see everything my opponent is doing. And surprise. Archers are in.
Perfect timing. As soon as fletching comes in, I mean, Barles is reacting about as well as you could in this situation, but this is Mihai honestly showing a fair amount of just laying his cards on the table. Like, this is okay, everything went wrong in early game. I'm going to try and throw my opponent off guard and give myself a unique chance to win this one. And T90, he's going to be on 8 fishing ships in a second.
Yeah, if he only had a tower, if he could take his gold, and then his wood was protected with that tower, and then he had his fish, I would love this. But the issue for him is he can't take gold, and you can tell he's very busy Vil fighting at the moment, or something, because his archers are going down to the tower. Mihai. Oh, I think he lagged.
Oh.
I think he might have lagged there.
Oh, he said freeze.
Yeah, I mean, that seems like he froze up a little bit, which obviously really hurts because he just lost 3 archers. He can still deny the golds, but there already are skirms on the way home from Barles, and Barles still is fully denying the gold. Mihai's in an awkward spot here.
Yeah, this is getting pretty rough at this point because Barles is just about to click to Castle H. He had the better eco working for so much longer. We did have the tower come in just at the nick of time there for Mihai, but the chances of you winning this game when you are so much slower to Castle Age like this are going to be pretty slim.
I mean, even without the lag there, which of course is just life just snowballing on Mihai. Of course he's got a lag there when things are already going this way. Even without that, those archers don't change the game much. He hasn't really taken his berries this game. You know, the fish are not working as efficiently as he would want. And, yeah, I mean, Barles always had the archer range already to make a couple skirmishers here. So let's see. Barles still is exposed on the gold. The tower only protected the wood line, but he does have the skirms pop out. And well played from Barles there. And in Castle Age, I think Barles could just straight up end the game with a couple knights, to be honest.
Yeah, that seems very likely at this point. There's very little safety. At the base of Mihai, the towers don't actually protect you against knights very effectively, and you're just so far away from Castle Age that it's going to be almost impossible to ever survive even just a few knights out on the map. There's Double Bit Axe finally coming in, and Barles is even going to just push this back even without his Castle Age upgrades.
Yeah, honestly, with how this has gone for Mihai, might be a situation where once he sees Castle Age, he even taps out. Technically, there's still some reasons to fight, but you're nowhere near Castle Age. Your opponent will be in Castle Age with a very good Castle Age Civ. But this would be the final game from him this season. And if he loses again, it's been a very nice season for him. He was just promoted up to Platinum League. So getting into the round of 12 playoff, getting, what was it, second place in his group, all that stuff's the positives. But when the moment's the most important, that is where typically the biggest players step up. That is where the preparation pays off. And Barles is just, like we said, he's been platinum all the time for a reason. And yeah, we'll see. Mihai fights on for now. But pretty soon, Skirms and Knights will be pushing this army.
Yeah, I mean, the villager count is slightly ahead right now for Mihai, but it's just all of the resources that have been collected up to this point. Villagers are trying to punch down archers, which is, I guess, happening uphill. Not a very clean situation for him whatsoever, but it's still a great result overall. I mean, Lewis and Mihai were the players that didn't get eliminated, that came up from Gold League this season, I think. So both of them still having good tournaments for sure.
Yeah, no, I agreed with you there. And if you look back at Mihai's results in the group stage, I'm sure he'll be very happy with it. He never wanted to end on an 0-3, but credit to Barles, man. I mean, he was amazing on his closed maps, and then this was the opposite of what we saw the first 2 games, and he just dominated him. Like, it's so easy to just miss your boar getting stolen there and not react in time. It's so easy to then kill that champy and just go home and be greedy and push your deer. But instead, he found the dock villager, sniped that. And then, like, while we felt like there should be some warning signs, what Mihai did could catch a lot of players off guard and lead to 12 villagers going down and lead to a much later castle age. Barles just had an amazing set.
I mean, it was just the perfect reaction there. I do think Mihai actually made a bit of a mistake shooting the villager that was walling. I feel like his best shot would just be to, like, interpose his archers between the wood line and the TC, and then that would probably maximize the amount of total damage.
That's fair. You know, what I wonder is, what did he actually know about the base before he went in? So, he didn't know a lot because of the lame situation. I think if you know the wood line and the gold is there, maybe you do that. But you're just so desperate for damage. It was such a bad situation at home for Mihai that it's understandable. He just wants to get all the villager kills he can. Also, just the tiny details go for you sometimes, or they don't others. Mihai had that one vill walking out the stone. Like, he thought about it. Let's just get a little bit more stone. And he ended up with 120, so he could never tower this gold. If he can tower that gold ahead of time, I swear it's a different game. But Barles was just on top of it, right? Like, it was Barles who killed it and who found all the timings today. So GG. Well played to Barles. It'll be Barles Sebastian in the quarterfinals, which prior to this, if you would have told me that, I would have said Sebastian's the favorite, but, like, Barles looked
I don't know about that.
Yeah, Barles looked good today. Really strong.